Hi there, welcome to the Lazy Cook Show, and today I'm going to do English breakfast, only I'm going to do it bed and breakfast style. Okay, full English breakfast, B&B style. That's the English bed and breakfast style. The main difference between the bed and breakfast and the ordinary breakfast is the ordinary breakfast can be a delicious greasy mass on a plate and nobody's got to look at it. B&B, we want to present it beautifully, and to that end we do everything in a certain way. Okay, what we've got, moving from the top, we've got some English black pudding in slices. Okay, if you live in the United States you can probably get that from Irish sources, or use Irish black pudding or American black pudding, or I think in Louisiana they do boudin noir, which is more or less the same thing. Also we have some pork chipolata sausages. These are very good quality pork chipolata sausages. The reason I use the smaller sausages is because I want all this to cook at the same time in a hot oven. I've just got a tomato which I've cut in half and dressed with a bit of salt and pepper. And I also have some dry cured English back bacon. You can use whichever bacon you like. Canadian bacon's very good, but English back bacon cuts through the loin noisette and has a bit of streaky on it as well. We also like streaky bacon in the United Kingdom, but it's less popular than this type. I've got four free-range eggs which are beaten up, and I have some button mushrooms. I also have some butter to cook the mushrooms in, and the obligatory baked beans. These baked beans aren't really a traditional part of English breakfast, but I think for at least most of my lifetime we've been having it, so I've included it in this. And to that end, I've got an oven which is already hot at 200 degrees Celsius, which is around 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to put those in near the bottom. And then the next thing we need to do is get the main breakfast items in the oven. But first of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the way I've dressed the tin. It's a normal broiling tin, baking tin or roasting tin, over which I've got a grill, and the grill just lifts everything off the bottom, keeps it away from the grease, and it helps the heat circulate underneath, so it all cooks around about the same time. In addition to that, I've dressed it with aluminium baking foil, and the reason I've done that is because I'm lazy and I don't like cleaning up dirty, rotten things afterwards. The additional benefit to that is that it reflects some of the heat back and helps to cook the items on it. You notice how I've interleaved the bacon just so it's ever so slightly overlapping, and so it fits nicely and it holds itself down as it cooks. Okay, we're ready to go in with that, and that needs round about 7 to 10 minutes. You're probably nearer to 10 minutes with this one in a hot oven. Meanwhile, we'll get on with everything else. I've got a hot plate here, and what I want to do in this is I want to do some mushrooms. So the last thing on earth you want to present on a plate is greasy, horrible mushrooms. So what we do is we take the mushrooms and we lightly fry them in butter. It's as simple as that. It's really as simple as that. You can add a bit of garlic salt if you like, but not for breakfast for me. I like to just cook them in butter. So in with a bit of butter in there, and make sure all your mushrooms are clean and ready to go. So I add the mushrooms to the pot. I don't wash mushrooms. What I do is I make sure that the surface is rubbed clean on them. These are grown in tunnels here in the UK, probably in the United States and elsewhere as well. They're grown in pretty good, clean conditions. And then what I do is I move them around in the oil to get a coating in the butter. If you feel they're catching a little bit, you can always put a little squirt of oil on that. So there you go, a little squirt of oil, that helps get it going. And then pretty soon after it starts cooking, it will start to issue steam, and it is that steam which will cook the mushrooms in their own juices. So you're not boiling them, you're not frying them in tons of grease, you're just adding a little bit of butter to the plate, maybe a little bit of oil, and get them moving like that, and then cover them up. You'll notice the sound drops down a bit when I do. So at this stage we just got to leave it for a few minutes while this cooks, while the food in the oven cooks, and also while the mushrooms are cooking. And we'll get back to you just around about the time we're doing the eggs. Okay, here we are. The mushrooms are starting to brown nicely, and you'll see they're issuing steam. So we need to put the lid back on now, and they're now going to cook in the retiring heat of that pan. So I can put the pan to one side and get my egg pan warming up. I'm going to do scrambled eggs with this one because I love scrambled eggs. So we've got to get this up to heat first. Just check that. And as that's coming up to heat, I'm just going to take a quick look at my stuff in the oven, make sure that's catching up. Yeah, that's coming along nicely and should be ready around about the time we've got the eggs done. So bring this up to heat. Okay, we're going in with the butter first. And before that burns, we need to get in the eggs. And we all know how to make scrambled eggs. Keep that moving. And you notice I'm not using any milk, I'm just using butter and eggs. And then as soon as they're at that consistency, they come off the heat and you let them finish cooking in the retiring heat. My brother likes his eggs cooked rather well, so I don't mind, so I don't care. So we'll leave them like that while we serve up. Okay, there we have it, everything's out the oven. I've got my trusty serving tongs and we're ready to plate up. So I'm going to lay all this out on the plate and then we'll show you the finished product. Okay, so there we have it. We've got a hearty English bed and breakfast style breakfast with some nice wholemeal toast on the side. Enjoy.